to another Train2Game production with Daniel Palmer.
Tim Willits, and I'm the creative director at id Software.
Okay, so first of all, can you tell us what your role as creative director entails?
Well, it's a job that changes a lot. As the creative director, you come up with the game, work on the story, plot, missions, basically design it. Then, as production goes along, then you make sure that everybody's marching to the same drummer, make sure the designers, programmers, and artists are working together. And then at the end, all the guys are back at id, wrapping up bugs, fixing things, and I have a chance to come and talk about the game. So during the evolution of a game, my job definitely changes a lot. Most times I'm just a cheerleader. I cheerlead for everybody. Go, team, go.
So, open question, tell us about Rage.
Yes, that is... Well, actually, you played it, so you'll probably be able to answer that question better than I can. But one thing what's nice about having guys like you play is your readers, they know I'm going to say it's great. They want to hear what you guys have to say. And we've struggled with making sure people understand what the game is all about. Because some people think, is it a combat racing game? Is it a first-person shooter? I'm confused. So that's why we set up these preview sessions where journalists come in, they play for a few hours, and then they have a better sense of what the game is. I like to call it like the complete first-person experience, because it's not these 4-hour cookie-cutter run-and-gun games. And you do spend the first 2 hours kind of just learning, and all the missions because you guys only played through one mission, but all the missions in the first 2 hours or so really kind of lead the player along. And then once they get to Wellspring, it really kind of opens up, and they can do all kinds of different sorts of activities and stuff. So, really, player choice is important, brand new technology, looks good, plays well. I call it the complete first-person experience.
So how difficult is it in the development process to bring everything together, the shooting, the driving, the storytelling, and bring it all into one package that is Rage?
It's actually quite difficult, to be honest with you. It's very tricky. But I think we got a good balance. For instance, we don't knock you over the head with the racing. You're only required to do 2 races in the game, but we have 25 or so that you can do, totally optional. The thing about the ammo types and the engineered items that's really cool is based on how you like to play and the mission that you have to complete. I've seen people play it all sorts of different ways. Some people like using the pistol with the fat mamas. Some people like using engineering items. Some people like using sniper rifle for every mission, or they try. So it's really cool that you are not going to play Rage the same way that your buddy plays. You'll have the same mission, but you will play it differently. Like you were talking about the wing stick. A lot of people, they never do that, and they play half the game and never learn about the wing sticks. So it's really kind of cool where you have those opportunities and those choices.
So how would you go about designing the levels in such a way that they can be completed, but in so many different ways?
It all comes back to AI. In a lot of modern games these days, you have one gun, and you find it. You got to drop one. You got to pick one up. The designers, they know exactly what players will have, so they design their AI for that. But for Rage, what we try to do is make all the AI aware of things. So, for instance, that Ghost hideout that you played, if you had a turret, if you cheated and gave yourself a turret and you dropped it, they would know about it, and they would react to it. They would talk about it. They would try to kick it over. So we really had to focus on making the AI aware of what you have, what you're using, and then their surroundings. That was key to really kind of make this more believable.
And what was the process behind coming up with the distinctive art and animation style of the game?
I get that question a lot. What was your influence on Rage? I try to keep the Rage team very flat, so that gives everyone an opportunity to give creative input into the process. It's not, it's not really like a pyramid. So there isn't one, even me. I came up with the game idea and the concepts, but I wasn't not the driving factor in the overall visual look or anything. It's really a combination of all the guys on the team and their own inspirations and their own influences that they bring to the project. But there's some things that you can see that we are big fans of, like Mad Max, and those Road Warrior movies, and our past games. Like when you're when you're in these hideouts chasing bandits and you have a shotgun in your hand, you can totally feel Doom and Quake and Wolfenstein. So, for us, maintaining that id spirit has been really the important kind of element that drives the overall experience in Rage.
A little bit about you. How did you get started in the games industry?
Long ago, I was one of the original modders, and I was working on Doom 1 and Doom 2 levels. And the company needed like a level designer. So I worked for it as a contractor, and I made 2 maps for the Doom 2 Masters Edition. And then after that, there was a project called Strife, which no one's ever heard of. So I was a level designer on Strife, and then I worked at the id studio after that. But yes, making level mods. That's how I got my start.
So, how important do you think modding is to someone looking to get into the games industry, and what other advice would you give them?
Modding is a great way to get into the industry. Most of the key guys at id have come from the mod community. Myself, Matt Hooper, Robert Duffy, John Paul Van Waveren. And we have like numbers of other guys. What I suggest to people that want to get in the industry is find their favorite engine. Unreal, Source, doesn't matter. id Tech. Find whatever engine they like to, what games they like to play. Get the mod tools and make a mod, and make sure they complete it. Lots of times we have people that send these resumes in with like 20 half-completed mods. We don't want that. We want a handful of ones that are actually done, and that's really important. Another way is these schools. Colleges have much better programs, that are dedicated to video games, and we've had some great success finding students that have come out of these programs that have done really well at it. But if you don't have money for that, or you have this great idea and you feel you have a lot of natural talent, making a mod, that's the best way to get into the industry.
For more information, www.train2game.com.